Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'll be showing you how I make this winter inspired pumpkin cinnamon buns. If you want to know how to make this yummy pumpkin cinnamon buns, please keep watching. Also, it's 100% vegan friendly. I'll begin by cooking my kabocha pumpkin until it becomes soft. Then I'll mash it with a potato masher to puree the pumpkin. If you don't have a potato masher, feel free to use a fork to mash your pumpkin. As you can see, I'm mashing the pumpkin with some water in it as I do not want the puree to be too thick. Now, here are my ingredients. I've got my plant-based milk, which is at room temperature, cinnamon powder, yeast, coconut oil, white sugar, vegetable oil, icing sugar, also known as confectioner's sugar, pureed pumpkin, and white flour. To begin, I've got 2 cups of white flour in this bowl, and I'll be adding 2.5 tablespoons of sugar to the flour and mix with a spatula. Next, I'll be adding in the yeasts. To proof the yeast, I added 4 tablespoons of warm water to 2 tablespoons of yeast and left it for about 6 minutes to rise. Next, I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of pureed pumpkin mixed with 1 tablespoon of water to loosen the pureed pumpkin. Then I'm going to add a cup of plant-based milk and combine everything using a spatula. Now I'm gonna knead the dough properly using my hands. While I was kneading the dough, I found out that the dough was super sticky, so I added about 3 tablespoons of flour to it. As you can see now, the dough is no longer sticky, so I'm gonna transfer the dough into a bowl that has been lightly oiled and cover it with a kitchen cloth. I'll leave it on the kitchen counter or in a warm place to proof for about 1 hour and also wait for it to double in size. While we're waiting for the dough to proof, I'm gonna make my sugar cinnamon mix. Here I've got 2 tablespoons of cinnamon powder and 3 tablespoons of sugar. So I'm just gonna add the cinnamon powder with the sugar and combine. When the cinnamon powder and sugar are well combined, I'm gonna add in about 3 teaspoons of plant-based milk and mix. I eventually added more milk to the cinnamon sugar to loosen it, and this is what it looks like at the end. Here's a closer look. After an hour, as you can see, the dough has doubled in size thanks to the yeasts. Now I'll punch down the dough to let the air out and lay out my baking mat. I'm going to add some flour to the surface of the mat to prevent the dough from sticking to it. Then I'm going to start rolling out the dough. Now that I'm done rolling out the dough, I'm going to brush the surface with some coconut oil. You can also use any brand of vegan butter for this step if you don't have coconut oil. Next, I'm going to add my cinnamon sugar mix onto the rolled out dough and spread. I'm going to spread it with a spoon, leaving out the edges of the dough. By the way, I've got a video of how to make cinnamon rolls in an air fryer. I'll link it somewhere above this video, so please feel free to check it out. Next, I'm going to add the pumpkin puree onto the cinnamon sugar mix. I'm also going to spread it with a spoon. Now that I've got the cinnamon sugar and pumpkin filling in, I'll brush the edges of the dough with some plant-based milk. This step helps keep the outer part of the dough together and prevents it from opening up during the baking process. And now it's time to roll up the dough. Now I'm done rolling the dough. Over here, I've got a disposable tray which has been lightly oiled, and I'll be placing the cinnamon buns in it. Next, I'm going to cut the dough into half and mark them before cutting them so as to be sure that they are all similar in size. After that, I'm going to arrange them onto the tray. Next, I'm going to cover the cinnamon buns with a plastic wrap, or you could also use a kitchen cloth. I'll leave them to proof in a warm place for about 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, you can see how much the buns have risen compared to when I first placed them in the tray. Don't they look fabulous? I have already preheated my oven, and we now transfer the cinnamon buns into the oven and let them cook for 30 minutes at 180 degrees. After 15 minutes of cook time, I took out the cinnamon buns and brushed them with some plant-based milk. This trick helps keep the cinnamon buns super soft with a nice golden color. While the cinnamon buns are cooking, I'll be making some pumpkin sauce to go with it. For this, I'm simply going to mix some pureed pumpkin with some pumpkin chunks in it with some icing sugar and combine. And that's the sauce all done. And after 30 minutes of cook time, here are the cinnamon buns. I just couldn't get over how beautiful they look. And now that everything is done, it's time to dig in. I'm not joking, this is one of the best cinnamon buns I've ever had. It was super soft and you could taste the rich pumpkin flavor in every single bite. And the best thing was that my friends absolutely enjoyed it. I'll be linking the full recipe in the description box, and I guess we've come to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to click the notification bell icon so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.